Welcome back, Focus Learners. Today, we've got an absolutely fascinating explainer lined up for you. We're going to literally take a journey right into the internal machinery of the modern workplace. We're looking at how businesses are actually structured, the crucial legal guardrails that keep everyone safe, and finally, how forward-thinking companies are just completely transforming how they welcome and train their new hires using dynamic visual tools. Whether you're a seasoned manager or you're literally just stepping into your first real office job, understanding this whole ecosystem is absolutely key to thriving.
Okay, let's take a quick look at our agenda. We're covering the workplace ecosystem, employee rights and rules, harassment versus discrimination, transforming employee onboarding, and lastly, training videos and humor. Okay, let's dive into this and see how we can organically connect some traditionally dry administrative definitions with serious legal concepts and ultimately some highly creative onboarding strategies.
Section 1, the workplace ecosystem, building the foundational structure of a business. You know, every single employee's life cycle really starts with understanding the basic structural departments that keep a company actually running efficiently.
So, I want to pose this common workplace question to you directly. Who actually handles your paycheck? I mean, it sounds super simple, right? But you'd be absolutely amazed by how often this causes confusion on an employee's first day. People constantly mix up two incredibly vital, yet completely distinct business departments. Let's clear that up right now.
And this brilliantly illustrates the difference. HR, or human resources, is focused squarely on managing the employee experience. They're the ones who recruit you. They handle your benefits package, and they manage workplace relations and compliance. But payroll strictly handles the math. They take the data HR provides, like your tax forms and your salary rate, and they calculate those wages, process the deductions, and make sure your actual paycheck is distributed on time. So they're close allies for sure, but their daily functions are entirely different.
Now, beyond HR and payroll, we've got two other foundational pillars. Think of it like this. If HR manages the people, the IT and operations departments act as the nervous system and the heartbeat of the organization. The IT department maintains the tech infrastructure. They fix the computers, secure the networks, protect the company data. Operations, on the other hand, oversees the daily activities. They coordinate the actual work processes, constantly improve efficiency, and make sure that the final product or service is actually delivered to the customer. Together, they're seamlessly supporting the people that HR brings through the door.
Moving right along to Section 2, employee rights and rules, the legal guardrails that keep the workplace safe. We're going to shift gears slightly here to explore the fundamental labor laws and employment structures that every manager and employee simply has to navigate.
First up, let's look at-will employment. This is a very common legal relationship, especially in the U.S. It basically means that either the employer or the employee can end the employment relationship at any time without giving any notice and for any legal reason. Now, the key word there is legal, because while an employer can walk away at any time, they absolutely cannot fire an employee for illegal reasons, things like discrimination or retaliation.
Another critical concept here is right to work. Now, right-to-work laws do vary significantly state by state, but essentially they guarantee that an employee cannot be forced to join a labor union or financially support one as a condition of getting or keeping their job. It objectively ensures that union membership remains purely the choice of the individual employee.
Okay, Section 3, harassment versus discrimination, understanding crucial workplace protections. People toss these terms around interchangeably all the time, in casual conversation, but in the workplace ecosystem, they carry very different, highly specific legal implications.
So the crucial point is that harassment is about conduct that creates a hostile environment, while discrimination is about unfair professional treatment. Let me break that down. Harassment involves unwelcome behavior, like offensive jokes or intimidation based on a protected characteristic, like race, sex, or age. Discrimination, however, is when someone is treated unfavorably in the tangible day-to-day aspects of their job, like refusing to hire them, denying a promotion, or paying them less because of those same protected characteristics. Now, they can certainly overlap, but legally speaking, they are distinct concepts.
And discrimination isn't always an intentional, super obvious act. We have direct discrimination, which is blatant. For example, a company policy that only hires males for physically demanding jobs just because of a broad assumption about physical capability. But then there's indirect discrimination. This happens when an employer has a broad policy that applies to everybody, but inadvertently hurts a specific group. A really clear example is a policy requiring all staff to work on Saturdays.
While the rule applies to everyone equally, it disproportionately disadvantages employees of certain religions who observe the Sabbath on that specific day.
All right, let's transition into Section 4, Transforming Employee Onboarding, moving from dry PDFs to dynamic visual academies. We've covered the structure and some of the very serious legal rules of the workplace. Now, how do companies actually communicate all this culture and compliance to a brand new hire without putting them straight to sleep? Well, the answer is modern technology and visual academies.
90%. Research actually indicates that the human brain processes visual data 90% faster than traditional text. I mean, think about it. When you hand a new hire a 30-page PDF manual on their very first day, you aren't inspiring them. You're literally just overwhelming them.
And here is the resulting impact, 70%. By swapping out those dry, overwhelming paper documents for structured, video-led onboarding processes, companies can boost new hire productivity by over 70%. It just accelerates the learning curve incredibly fast. Let's move to and see how this builds into the 5 pillars of onboarding. A successful visual onboarding program has to hit these 5 essential objectives. Compliance, to teach those legal rules we just discussed. Clarification, to ensure they actually understand their specific role. Confidence, to help them feel supported in their daily tasks. Connection, to build social bonds with their new team. And finally, culture, to align that new hire with the company's ultimate mission.
To hit all 5 of those pillars, HR teams really have to choose the right visual style. 2D animation is fantastic because it's neutral. It simplifies highly complex, abstract ideas, like corporate hierarchies, without feeling intimidating. Live action is your go-to for authentic emotional impact, which is just perfect for showing real workplace scenarios or culture overviews. And finally, instructor-led video kind of simulates a classroom, making it the perfect choice for delivering those clear definitions in serious legal contexts, like harassment training.
So how do companies actually make these? They use a highly structured 5-step production workflow. First, write a compelling script. Second, design a storyboard that aligns with the brand identity. Third, record and edit the video. Fourth, distribute it to the channels where your employees actually spend their time. And fifth, monitor those performance metrics to see what's actually working. And what's wild today is that companies are using AI tools to instantly translate these scripts and videos into over 170 languages. It allows them to perfectly scale their training for a global workforce with literally just a few clicks.
Let's wrap things up with Section 5, Training Videos and Humor, making difficult topics digestible and engaging. We've talked about the tech side, but let's talk about the creative element. How do you prevent that dreaded first-day overwhelm? You lean into humor and storytelling.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the science behind it. Humor isn't just about getting a quick laugh in the office. It actually triggers positive emotions in the brain, which scientifically enhances memory and helps learners retain information. So if you want someone to remember a super dry compliance rule or a safety standard, making them smile is genuinely, vastly superior to reading them a textbook.
And these real-world examples absolutely prove it. Burger King literally got Snoop Dogg to do a celebrity parody to teach employees how to grill hot dogs. It turned a completely standard operating procedure into something incredibly memorable. The TV show Superstore uses deadpan, character-driven comedy to highlight retail efficiency. Some safety videos use an exaggerated Grim Reaper character. It's this dark comedy that ensures people actually pay attention to serious safety hazards. And satire is highly effective for sensitivity training. By mocking absurd extremes, you show employees exactly what not to do without making them feel like they're being scolded. Grounding training in relatable, slightly exaggerated scenarios just works wonders.
Which brings us to our final thought for the day. Is your workplace relying on outdated manuals, or are you building a dynamic, clear, and engaging ecosystem that empowers your team from day one? Think about your own company's structure, the clarity of your legal guardrails, and your onboarding culture. The tools are absolutely out there right now to make the workplace not just compliant, but genuinely captivating. Thank you so much for joining me today on this explainer, and keep learning.